I started working with Avid Media Composer in 1992. So I was very lucky to early on learn the system that has become the most prominent system in professional editing. Hi, I'm Troy Takaki, and I'm one of the editors on the Emmy-nominated docuseries Escaping Twin Flames. One thing that I really like about Escaping Twin Flames is that it is what my daughter calls activist journalism, meaning that there is a purpose for it to hopefully help the community or help the world. I am very proud to have worked on it with Imbal and the other editors because I believe that it will help people that are in cults maybe realize that they're in cults and will help people get out of them. Well, it's always hard to choose an episode to submit. Often you submit the first one or the last one because you can understand the story the best in those ones. This one we picked because A, all of the editors worked on this episode, and B, it has a very heartfelt ending to it, which is always nice to have. Honestly, with this nomination, I wasn't paying any attention that it was happening that day, and just my phone started getting texts and blowing up, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Escaping Twin Flames is my first Emmy nomination. It is my first Eddie win, and my second Eddie nomination. The big challenge in general with Escaping Twin Flames is that you had several different mediums that you were working with. You had the interviews that are sort of talking head interviews, and then you had thousands and thousands of footage that the cult actually filmed that we got our hands on. And we had to take both of those and graphics and turn it into a coherent story. I find that the best thing about Avid in general is its media management. It is much easier on Avid than any of the other systems to be able to find footage and move it around and show it to the other teams, because what happens is we were all working on it and we would be looking for a certain word or such. I would yell out to Jesse, hey, I need so-and-so saying what? And then 15 minutes later, I'd have a string out of what's, that I can then turn into, the beginning of a sentence or something. My favorite feature in Avid by far is trim mode, especially the fact that you can do asymmetrical trimming, because I just go through and I'm like, here, I'm trying to cut these two syllables together, and I park my little yellow lines here, all the way down, and I am able to keep my sound effects in sync and keep my music in sync, and yet edit my sound on audio one frame at a time. I was very lucky that I started working with Avid Media Composer in 1992. It was very early in its development, honestly. I was working on the system called Montage Picture Processor mostly before that. That was about the same time Lightworks came out. There was a bunch of other systems that worked not that great, honestly. Editoroid, Ediflex, and such. So I was very lucky to early on learn the system that has become, honestly, the most prominent system in professional editing. So it gave me the opportunity to be one of the leaders and know the system before anybody else and teach other people how to use it. I've always loved it. I've always been very good at it. Interestingly, I set up my keyboard just like I did in 1992, so that all my tricks that I learned back then still work today. The number one thing I tell everybody is that you have to learn the systems, particularly Avid. The only way to learn any of these systems is to actually use them. Take all the classes you want, but you learn the systems by using them. So I tell the younger editors, just go out and film stuff. Go to the beach, film a bunch of skateboarders, cut it to music, and you will learn how to use this system. You have to edit. That is how you learn to edit. You have to use Avid. That is how you learn to use Avid. So the number one thing, and I know I'm repeating myself, is to actually use the system, actually edit. Take classes if you want, but use the system.